What up, people? It's your boy, Guy in a Truck. I know it's been a minute, it's been a while, and you're like, dude, I'm not even going to watch your video, but that's okay. I feel you, I understand. I've been pretty busy, so a couple months ago, I decided, well, I'm going to get my own authority. Finally, I'm going to get my own numbers. I'm going to stop this baloney running under someone else's authority. Although you're still an owner operator, you still feel like you're not in control, and that was the whole thing. If I'm going to grow this thing, if I'm going to do this trucking business, why not just have my own numbers and completely be my own entity? Even though I had an LLC and my business had business credit and I was making money and I could have grown it, and a lot of people do, but I just felt like I wasn't in complete control with my customers. I wasn't invoicing them. I wasn't really able to build relationships with brokers or customers, on a level of like, well, we can do this, but let me check with the company I lease on to. Everything was always like I was underneath someone and I had to go check with them to make sure everything was cool. So I figured, all right, let's get our own authority. And so I started looking into videos too. And that's kind of why I'm making this video. It's a video for your authority timeline. And I know there's a lot of content out there. There might be a great content, and please go check that stuff out too. But I hope that maybe this helps one or two of you. And if you have any more questions during the process, if while getting your own authority, it's a big step, man. I mean, let's not play it like it isn't. It is. A lot of people say, "Oh, it's so easy. Just go get your own." It's not that easy. It is, but it isn't. It is a big step for if you're like me and you're kind of anxiety ridden and you want to get things done and make sure everything happens on simultaneously and just things get done, so you don't run out. Because I've been out of work for a month now, waiting for this process, and today it finally my MC number went active after I filed on the 27th of September, and it went active today. So I think that was 15 days. They say 20 days, but just know that you'll probably go active in 15 days. So it watch this video. I have a little note thing that I'll refer back to here and then. And if you want to, you can pause this video and maybe take a screen capture. And that's basically the step by step that you need that I did. And I'll just kind of refer back to that. But it's pretty simple, man. So getting your authority, the timeline, it's important because, well, you're taking that step. You're not making any money. You're at home probably like I am, like I have been for a month. Not the business isn't making any revenue, so you're living off of your savings. So you want to make sure you do everything correctly, and you're dealing with the federal government and stuff, and the corona. And you just want to make sure, because when you're dealing with the federal government, especially during these times, one little hiccup could make that 20 days turn into 30 days or 40 days and then you could go really out of business. So just make sure you do it right. I actually did do a hiccup, and I hope you don't do this when you're filing for your authority on the fmcsa.dot.gov and you're going through their like UCR registration or whatever. I think it's like one of the final steps, but do not say you're a DBA, doing business as usual. There's somewhere in that it's like a questionnaire almost, and when you're filing for your LLC, when you're putting your information for your business in, make sure you're a limited liability company. If you're not, then I don't think that matters. But if you're a limited liability company, for me anyways, I put that, and then it said doing business as, and for some dumb reason I put doing business as, my business name, the same as my LLC. Well, when I completed that process with FMCSA, they're like, all right, you're done. Now wait 20 days. Basically, here's the things you got to do. And so the next step was to file. The next step I took was the UCR, and then I went to go file my insurance with Progressive, and you need them to send over documentation that you are insured, that your business is insured, the 1 million liability, or 750,000 at least. That's what they want to see, and 100K cargo. They send that over to the federal FMCSA, and then that's what kind of gets the process rolling for your authority to be granted. That's a big part of it, huge part of it. So you make sure you do that right after you apply. But don't do the mistake I did and put your LLC as a DBA, doing business as the same. Because when Progressive went to file that, they're like, we can't file this because on the Safer website, it's saying that you have a DBA, and because you're an LLC, we can't do that. And so I had to wait another few days going back and forth with FMCSA about fixing that problem. And there's a name change form that I had to do, and I can't remember what form it is. But if you need help, shoot me an email. I'll help you figure it out. But I had to submit a name change form, and then it's the federal government, so it took time. And otherwise, my authority probably would have been granted last week. And I don't want you to make that mistake because, even though it's 15 days and I'm still early compared to their timeline of 20 days, it could have been sooner and I could have been making money. So that's a simple mistake. Don't put a DBA. But so the authority timeline. So this is where I started. Right here, number one, you can go get a service provider and pay them $1,000 and have them do that whole, this whole step 1 through 12 or whatever for you. But I don't think they really do it for you. If they do, that's not a bad deal. But if not, it's not that easy, and you're more doing it yourself. You're more in the game. You know what's going on. You know the process, and you're more self-sufficient, you're more aware, and you're on the ball. I don't know. It's just those services, they're good and helpful, I'm sure, but I think you should do it yourself. And hopefully this video will kind of help you. It's not going to be extravagant and super easy, but hopefully at least you can capture this right now, pause your screen, capture that, and just go step by step, and that'll get you your numbers, and hopefully without a hiccup, and get that truck making money again. Because I know I'm probably not gonna start running my truck till Wednesday, but if tomorrow, I'll go through that on number 9 with IFTA, because this is why it's important to go through the timeline, because so that you don't lose any days, because this whole process can drag on if you don't kind of get things, like, don't waste any time, and we'll go through that real quick. That's why the timeline is important, so you don't hopefully make mistakes that I did. So first things first, go to UCR. So it's different than the UCR, Unified Carrier Registration, or whatever. It's kind of the same deal, but they have like for first time applicants. It's the very first thing you need to do. So that's what you do. So we went to FMCSA. We scrolled down to apply for authority, and then click here where it says to register. Click here. Then it'll tell you whatever, blah, 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 blah. I understand, take me to registration. And then this is where you click new applicant, and then you literally will just start going through all this stuff. I can't do it again. I don't know what it would do if returning applicant, but just go through the unified registration system. This is the very first thing you need to do. And then once you get that done, you're you'll be in the 20-day waiting period or whatever, and that's when the process starts. So you will get your DOT number from there. After doing this right here, you'll get your DOT number, and I believe you'll even have your MC number. And then this is when you start the timeline. It's right after this you start filing everything and registering for everything, so that you you minimize that the length, of time that this could take. So you just get your T's crossed and your I's dotted, kind of thing. So the next thing I did is, I think I actually, yeah. Then you go over to UCR, and this is something you have to do. Go to UCR.gov. I think you can also, they'll they might give you a link to go to it in here, and if so, just do that. But either way, this is unified carrier registration. You have to do it. You won't be able to do some of the next steps unless you do it. Like, I don't know. I think your IFTA, you definitely have to have this, and maybe, yeah, your IFTA. So definitely have to do this. I think it costs like 60. Let me see, $62. I think it cost me. Oh, and by the way, this, when you applied for your numbers, your DOT and MC number, that costs $300. You have to pay that right when you get done from the very last slide. So do that, and then go over here, go to the UCR.gov, and type in your US DOT number, I think, and then just kind of follow the instructions and submit, and then you'll be good with that. And then, and by the way, everything you're doing at the end of everything, if you get any kind of document, just save it in, like me personally, I use iCloud, and so I save every document in a file that kind of tells me what it is, so I can refer back to it, because you're going to need some of these things, I think, going forward with insurance and stuff. So just have them readily available. And then the next thing I did is, well, I went to KYU. You won't have to do right away, but so then I had I have Progressive commercial, and so I then immediately after getting my authority, the next morning I called my insurance agent and I said, "Hey, I need you to file." Well, actually, I then went and binded my insurance with them because I already had a quote, and that's what you're going to want to do. If right now you haven't you haven't done this first step, and you're just kind of looking into it and you're really serious about it, get that quote. And if you are leased onto a carrier, use that same insurance company that you already have insurance with, and get a quote from them, hypothetical kind of quote. Let them know that you're looking at getting your own authority. You don't have your DOT number yet, but please give me a basis quote on what you can offer me. And then before you even go through all this and pay any money for anything, because insurance is going to be make or break. So that literally is the biggest, other than fuel, that's the biggest cost of running this operation. So make sure you get a quote and that it's viable and plausible for you to do. And if so, then have that quote in mind. Anyway, so after you do the step one, get your MC. Step two, um, file the, or I'm sorry, I don't even know why I put that there. Oh, I just deleted it. Anyways, you get the picture. What the heck? I don't know what happened there. File UCR carrier registration at UCR.gov. I don't know why that's numbering like that, but you get the picture. It's still step by step. It looks horrible. But anyways, so yeah, that's the thing that we were just talking about. So you get your MC, then you go to UCR, you get that, um, and then you go to your insurance. I use Progressive, blah blah blah. Log in, and then I'm not going to show you my personal information, but you get the picture, and then call your insurance after you get the numbers, and then bind that insurance. Bind that insurance by paying. For me, it cost me. Oh, by the way, this was $300. $300. This was $60. $62. Oh wow, $62, and then for me, my insurance was I had to pay $2,500, and that was just to finish off my current policy. Because you'll so as soon as I got my MC, right, in order to act for the FMCSA to activate your MC number and give you authority to operate, the two main things are, well, the most important thing is that you have binded your insurance and filed it. Your agent filed it to the FMCSA, which cost me another $35 for my insurance agent to send that over to them. But you can't do that, and they can't activate it unless you are currently on a policy that is active. So in order for you to make that policy, that insurance policy, active, you have to pay typically a down payment. I was already with Progressive, but I had to finish out my current policy, and so that $2,500 was to finish out the year with my new authority. So that $2,500 was the final, guess, total that I had to pay. I think basically gave me 2 months of active insurance with my own authority. Even though I was getting it, I could have probably waited, but I didn't want to wait, so I just paid it. And then yeah, so I wanted to get it out of the way. You can wait to pay it, but as soon as you get your MC number, I suggest that you get that policy binded, paid, and have your insurance agent, file it to the FMCSA right away. And that way it'll get the ball rolling. And then immediately you can go to the Safer website. You can go down here to company snapshot, and then you can go in here, type in your DOT number, and then you can check out up at the top right corner. After you do that, you will see your licensing and insurance tab, and you click that, and it'll show that your licensing and insurance is processing and pending, and that's a good thing. That means the ball's rolling. And so for me, that was $2,500 to bind that insurance, register, and then going forward, my insurance is high, man. I had 2 speeding tickets, and so that was kind of, in June, my insurance will be $15,000 for the year, but until then, it was like 20 grand. So, for my own authority for the whole year. But like I said, in June, when that ticket falls off, it'll be 15 grand, a million liability, 100K cargo. But yeah, and I also had to get reefer breakdown on there, which added a little bit, but wasn't terrible, because a customer of mine that I already set up with, um, that I've already worked with, and now set up with to do work with them, they haul refrigerated stuff. I had that on there, but it is what it is, man. I'm looking forward to June though, when that goes down to 15K. For you, I'm sure for most people, insurance should be around that 15K. If it isn't, you need to shop around, because that's what it should be. But I had the 2 speeding tickets within the last few years, so that hurts, man. It definitely shows you how important it is, especially in your own business, to have good safety record, good everything. But that's okay. We'll get that down, and that we'll get that cost under control. That's the biggest cost other than fuel, and so it's still profitable. Maybe not as profitable for others, but it's still profitable. Because if you're paying on my monthly payment, insurance payment until June will be $2,300 a month. That's my only payment for now, other than trailer rental. Or well, actually, I'm financing a trailer now, but trailer payment because my truck's paid off. But and so I'll just be stacking as much as I can every month, all the difference, and paying myself little because I know, I don't know how long my truck will last, and I may eventually need a new truck, and so I don't want to be burdened with a humongous truck payment. So, got to keep them costs down. Anyways, back to the timeline. We did that. We got our numbers. We did the UCR. We filed our insurance and binded it, and then I would go onto IFTA and IRP sites and start getting your accounts ready so that when when your authority is active, you can immediately because I think you can register for it, but you need your MC active, I believe, to complete and get to pay for your ERP. You can get it all set up and then just pay for the ERP when your MC goes active, and then pay for the or IFTA is free, but you have to have your MC active to complete the IFTA. I think go to like in my state, it's Michigan.ifta. So you'll just want to type in IFTA for your state, and then I believe you right here, and then you go here. If you already have, like me, I already have that login information, but that's the last thing I'm waiting is for a password for this from them. And then when I get the password, I can apply for the license, the decals, which I believe. No, I think it is free, but anyways, that's the last thing you have to do. But the first thing is just click here to apply for new license and decals, and then you'll just go through the process. And then you're registered for that. Then, but you won't like I don't think you'll actually create, or no, you'll create your account, but you won't actually get your decals. You won't order them until your authority goes active. Like today, mine went active. I actually, this is another thing. Call IFTA the day your authority goes active, because you're going to need a password from them to even log in. Like right now, I can't log in because I have to wait a day for them to send the password. But I called them today and told them, and they're like, "Oh yeah, your authority is active. I'm glad you said something. I'll let my peers know." So he then put it in their system that I need my information, my IFTA login, and then I can go in, and I don't know if I got to pay or what, but I don't think so. But then I can get my decals, and you need your IFTA decals to go out of the state. You can run, like right now today, I could have ran intrastate, but I just figured I'd get everything, all my ducks in a row. So tomorrow I should have my password for IFTA. So just be mindful of that, but at least start your account in IFTA so that when your authority does go active, boom, it can trigger it. And then ERP, you probably will have to do the same for like you did on IFTA for ERP plates in your state. Me, I already have it. For me, it's the DV, whatever that is. Just type in ERP plates for whatever state you're in, and then for us, Michigan Department of State, you go to down here, you see ERP and ERP services, and then right here you can, if you're a current member, which I am, I can log in and pay my current thing, or you can go to apply, and then you can start the whole process through there. And then you can actually, I believe, pay your ERP plates before. But me, I wanted to wait until I knew my authority was going to be active before I paid this. But I just and then you know what? No, I ended up. Yeah, no, I did that today. So when my authority went active, I came back on here. I logged in, excuse me, and then I paid my um, my ERT plates. And so do that so um, everything goes smoothly. Because and when you do the ERT plates, when you go pay for it, you pay your current thing or whatever. For me, it was $1,660 that I had to pay today for that. So that the your plates for the year and the insurance are your biggest startup cost for getting your authority. Everything else is pretty cheap. The $300 for your MC number. So you pay that, and immediately you get a temporary IRP plate. And so you download that and you print that off on your computer and you tape it in your window. And then I think he said, like, in a week I'll have my actual plate in the mail. So, but just make sure you download that because you'll need that. You're going to want that plate. And then also you take that plate number and you go back to your. I'm trying to think what I had to do. I think IFTA. Oh no, that was for KYU. I don't know why that's down. Oh yeah, technically we're down here. My bad. Um, So oh yeah, we were just going over. I'm getting ahead of myself. Like I said, screenshot this, and this is how it is. So you registered for your IFTA and your ERP accounts. That's it. You're just in the game. You're registering for things, and you're gonna hit the button when it goes active. But 2290, you if you're already a leased on owner operator, you probably already paid this for the year. I use the e-filing service, um, but you can do it yourself too with your state. That's the high. That's the HV UT tax, that highway vehicle use tax or whatever that we have to pay every year. I think that was like $550. I had already paid that for this year. And so you'll need that 2290 though, I think, when you file for your MC and probably these other things, IP and IRF. Yeah, you need that. And so, also another thing, then the next step would be your BOC3. This should probably be in line with your insurance. This is probably more important than these. Um, for your MC to go active, the two things they need is your insurance to be binded and filed with them, and then your BOC3 processing agent. I guess processing agent or nationwide. If you get sued in any state or injuries or whatever, that they have someone outside of you that they can contact and present a lawsuit or whatever to you, your company. So BOC3, that's absolutely a must. I used a company named, I can get it for you a second. Um, EV EVIL Sizer